Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're out the range to talk about accessorizing your handgun, making it your own. Let's face it, polymer frame striker fired pistols like the Glock or the P320 or even the P365, which is my personal carry gun, it's kind of soulless right out of the box. It's just kind of vanilla. There's nothing really special about it. But there are companies out there like Danger Close, which we're going to talk about today, that will modify that gun in any number of different ways and allow you to make that pistol your own. So it's a little bit of a fashion statement. Let's face it, folks are kind of limited in the ways that they can accessorize. You know, guys are kind of limited to the suit. Sometimes they can wear a bold tie, a nice watch, some fancy shoes. Not a whole lot a guy can do, but he can accessorize his pistol, make it his own, make it kind of flashy, turn a soulless plastic framed pistol into something that looks really nice and cool and is still functional. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. My carry gun is a P365 XL. This is the new Sig Spectre Comp slide on an Icarus aluminum frame lower. And then on top of it, I have a Holosun HS507K red dot sight. And this is my baby. I love the way the gun feels. It has a nice heft to it. And it's something that I've modified and made my own. But you can go a lot further than this because these are all like off-the-shelf parts. You can actually go out and say, put this cut here, do this there, make it this color with places like Danger Close and really trick out that carry pistol. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video, accessorizing that P365 and making it your own. All right, so you race home from the gun store, you have your brand new vanilla handgun in your brand new vanilla box, and when you get it home, you open it up, but in this instance, you're gonna find something that isn't so vanilla. This is the Danger Close P365X, which means it has the P365 slide and barrel length. Well, actually the barrel's longer on this one, but the P365 slide, which is short, has the P365 XL extended grip on it. And this gun has a lot of features that have been added to it. Let me drop the 12-round magazine out. It does come with two 12-round flush fit magazines. And you can see that the gun has been highly modified. It's had the frame retextured, has a nice gray color to it. The texturing has a nice black to it. The texturing's not sharp, so it's not going to act like sandpaper against your body if you carry appendix like I do. It has some really nice looking lightning cuts done to the slide. The serrations have been done, so they've lightened the slide. They've made some cuts through here. It is not ported, okay, so it's not cut into the barrel, but it's just made some lightning cuts. I believe they've increased the spring rate because the spring on this is fairly heavy, and that's probably due to the fact they've taken quite a bit of material off the slide. And then you'll notice it has a fluted barrel in it, which is one of their barrels, and you can get them in different colors and things like that. And it is threaded 1/2 by 28. So if you want to do something really fun and cool, you can grab your OSS Rad 9 silencer. I always get the threads goofy on these when I try to put them on. There we go. At least it's not 13 by 1 left hand. I never get that right. And voila, you can go out there with some 147 grain subsonic rounds and discreetly shoot your P365X. So let's do some shooting with this gun. We'll take it apart, take a closer look on the inside, take a closer look at some of the modifications done to it, suppressor height sights, this Holosun sight that's on there. This is really a neat little pistol. And once again, this has allowed me or you or whoever wants to customize their carry gun to make it their own, to make it something that's special. It's not just that plain old plastic frame striker fired pistol anymore. There's actually some pride and ownership in this bad boy. If you pick up a newer P365 or a P365X like this one, you're going to find that Sig has made some changes to the gun. They're always making rolling changes, improving it, which it went from a really non-reliable handgun when they first came out, and I was very critical of them, then turned into a gun I trust my life to. So Sig has done a great job with the handgun, and I think it really kind of helped set the tone for a whole new genre of carry guns, because after this thing met with extreme success, you started seeing companies like Springfield and Smith & Wesson and everybody else starting to follow suit, starting to make very small handguns, either hold 12 or 15 rounds. And that's just kind of the future of carry guns, in my opinion. The smaller, the lighter the handgun is, the more likely it is you're going to carry it, the more concealable it's going to be, especially when it's holding the same number of rounds as a larger handgun like a Glock 19 or a Glock 17. We have a whole video on that that caused a big stir on the internet, but I still stand by those statements. This little gun is lightweight because it maintains its polymer frame. It does have those lightning cuts, but has a slightly longer barrel because of that threading. You'll notice it has suppressor height sights that co-witness through the red dot sight, and it's just a nice feeling gun. I'm not sure if they've undercut it. It sets nice and deep in my hand, but most of the P365 XLs do. They've not taken much material off. They've just textured it. It feels like you get a nice positive grip on it, but again, it's not like sandpaper, so it's not gonna be abrasive against the skin. It's not gonna, bite into your hand like, 20 lines per inch on a 1911 that you would get on the front strap or something. That can be pretty darn aggressive on the hand, or even 30 lines per inch. So very comfortable gun, very easy to manipulate, very deep slide serrations, but when you have a red dot on there, you can cock it like that. The handgun came to me with two 12-round magazines. Now, I'm not sure if you can order the entire gun from them, and I know you can customize it on the website. You go through and pick all the different options you want, and I believe you can also send them an existing gun, and then they'll make those modifications to your existing gun. So, flush fit 12-round magazine. This is some Federal 115 grain ball, and you'll notice that the recoil on this little gun is extremely manageable. For a concealed carry gun, this is like my ideal setup. I really like the X series with the shorter slide and barrel, the slightly longer grip because I get a really good grip on it with my big hands. And there's just not a whole lot of recoil to it. The gun is very manageable. Gotta find another magazine here. It will also use the 15 rounders, which will stick out just a little bit further. This is the magazine I carry on my carry gun. I like having those extra rounds, but again, walking back and forth between targets, I don't think you're going to complain too much about my split times. These little tiny guns don't have that much recoil once you learn how to master them. They're extremely easy to shoot, very comfortable, very ergonomic, yet small, lightweight, and you just kind of forget you even have the darn things on. And I carry appendix, and sometimes I have to reach down there and make sure I still have my gun on because it's just so stinking comfortable. But I definitely like the way this gun looks. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I mean, the stippling and how they've left the Sig Sauer, so it's an original Sig grip frame. Just really, really tastefully done. Let's take a little bit closer look at the Danger Close pistol. So the weapon is clear. There's its 12-round magazine sitting over there to the side. Now, on the newer Sigs, they did away with the earlier models of the P365 where you had two screws going up through the underside of the slide that were kind of interesting, to say the least, to get out. And then when you took the plate off, it took the rear sight with it. And that was less than ideal because now you didn't have the option of putting suppressor height sights on those old P365s. Sig, listening to the market, decided to make the plate separate from the rear sight, and now the screws go in through the top. Now these are set up for their Romeo 0 screw pattern, but the Hollow Sun screw pattern on their K models use the exact same pattern, so there's no need for an adapter plate. The sights on here have been replaced. They are suppressor height sights. It has a serrated rear sight with a tritium front. We've already talked about the slide serrations and the lightning cuts that they've made. Disassembly of the gun is very simple, and it's identical to an unmodified P365. Let me drop the magazine out of it here. You have to have the mag out to take it apart. Otherwise, the takedown lever won't turn. Takedown lever, push down, and then just push. You don't have to pull the trigger, and the frame comes off. Nice thing about the P365s, at least now until the ATF changes the regulation, is that the trigger is the gun. So you can take the trigger out just by taking the disassembly lever, and then you can lift the trigger out of it and put it into a different firearm. If you want to buy one of the aftermarket Sig triggers that have the gold accents or whatever, you can drop it right in there. It's a modular design. You can also buy different grip frames for it. Wilson Combat makes grip frames now. So there's a lot of options you can do, but this is the Danger Close modified one. And again, I think it's really tastefully done. Here we see this is the first time I've played with an X series. So we have the recoil spring, which is captive. And then we have, well, you know what? I'm gonna have to take the thread protector off. Take that off, and then I can take the barrel out of the gun. So here's the Danger Close barrel. You can see their marking on the side, a little bit of a lightning cut there. They've lightened it by fluting it. and then it's threaded 1/2 by 28. Here you can see the holes going through the slide, lightning cuts, kind of probably both for lightning and just for appearances. It looks pretty sharp. But if you carry a gun like this that has holes cut through it, just keep in mind that lint does build up and you want to maintain your pistol, right? Clean the darn thing at least once a month to make sure you don't get a whole bunch of gunk in there. A long time ago, I mean many years ago, I did a video where I had a Car 380 pistol that I carried in my pocket for almost a year. I took it apart and the recoil spring was literally covered from front to back. It had caked on lint around the recoil spring. The gun didn't work anymore. So make sure you just maintain your gun, especially if you have holes cut in the slides that allow stuff to get down around the barrel and into the recoil spring itself. But overall, it's a really nicely done gun. I really like the way it looks. Putting it back together is just like taking it apart, obviously. Gotcha. I like the fact you don't have to pull the trigger on the P365s. Pull the slide to the rear, lock the slide to the rear, and your disassembly lever will pop back into the locked position, and your gun is back together. So overall, I think you can see the quality of the work that Danger Close has put into this. I'll take some close-up pictures to share with you guys, but it's a really cool option. If you're out there looking for a customized carry gun, something, again, to make it your own, I would recommend Danger Close. They're a really good aftermarket company that does really nice custom work to various pistols. If you jump on their website, they don't just modify P365s. You'll find other Sig products like the 320. You'll find Glocks and all sorts of stuff. They make all sorts of different, or they modify all sorts of different firearms there for you to take a look at. And yeah, very cool. If you guys enjoyed today's video, if you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms channel, the best possible way to do that is to become part of our Patreon family. You'll get early access to videos like this one. You have direct access to me. I answer all private communications, and there's some other perks as well. Also, right here on YouTube, there's this little join button underneath the video player you're watching right now. Mash that join button and you can support us in the age of demonetization. And last but not least, guys, please swing by and check out coppercustom.com. Thank you for 14 years of support. We'll talk to you guys soon.